Yes, ma'am. I'm safe and sound pretty well. What about you? How are you doing today?
I'm also good.
Yeah, ma'am. The energy which you have in your voice seems to be like you are always good.
Yeah, I am always good.
Yes, ma'am. So, my first question for you is how one can enhance his vocabulary. And after enhancing vocabularies, people have some complaint that I have learned so many vocabs, but when it comes to speaking, my mind goes blank. So, what
Yes,
do you
because
suggest?
see what happens when anyone learns vocabulary. They just take 10 words by googling it or from somewhere, and they just wonder they now know the words. Like they look the words online, good vocabulary words, or they read somewhere from the book, and then they memorize them, and they wonder now they know. But later, as a result, we human tend to forget the things, we just forget it. So, similarly, it happens in the case of the students when they go to school, they learn few vocabulary words, and even they have the exams after that. But we people, we do not have any exams, so we forget. So, rather than just learning the vocabulary words in general, you should learn the specific vocabulary words that you will be using. Suppose a person is a working professional, so he just need not to Google the words, tell some good vocabulary words. Rather, he should learn the words specific to his need. Suppose he is into anything data analyzing, or an engineer, an IT professional, or a doctor. So learn the particular words that he will be using in the next conversation. Make small goals for vocabulary, like after you have to talk to somebody, so you should prepare in your mind just 10-15 minutes before, that which vocabulary words or what the conversation is. Based on the conversation in your mind, you should do the homework and look for the vocabulary words. So that technique really helps you to improve. Why? You learned it and you implemented it right away, so then you memorize those words, and you have to keep on repeating this pattern. Apart from that, how one can improve the vocabulary by looking for synonyms. Like many people, they keep on repeating the word and I will do this, and I will do this, and I will go there. So they keep on repeating the same word and. So in place of and, there's so many other words that one can use. Like you can use the word moreover, furthermore, however, next, in addition to, additionally, in the consequence, or in the series, or consequently. So use these kind of words, look for synonyms and look for some transition words. That also helps a lot to build up the vocabulary. And the next, antonyms is also a good way out. Like whenever you know any word, just think what could be the antonym of that word. So my suggestion to you at the end, it is to make the long story short, rather than just learning the words, start using them practically. Why people say we go blank even after knowing so many words? Because they just learn the words in general. Learn specific words, and whenever you are using those words, try to think what could be the synonyms, what could be the antonyms, and what other transition words I can use. So that really helps, because that is realistic. And in this way, a person will never go blank.
Wow, all these techniques are literally amazing and quite effective as well. Because what I can smell, whatever you have explained, it's something which is based on practical experience, ground
Yes.
knowledge. So definitely it would be
I
effective
don't
for
give
every single
practice
person.
any. Even I tell you, in my sessions also, I do not teach anything bookish. Neither I provide any fancy content to any of the students. I say, why you have to pay the money even for it? That is available free online. So I work on the practical skills of a person, and I believe in practical things, because once we do the things, then the real picture comes in.
True, I agree. My next question for you is, I hope you have seen that, or sometimes we have to speak about a topic, and we are not able to speak about the topic. Though sometimes we have knowledge, sometimes we don't. But what could be the best strategies that one should follow in order to explain a topic in a very effective and amazing way?
Okay. See, I tell you, this is also the problem of many people. You come across a very good question that how to speak on any topic. They say, ma'am, we know English, but we cannot speak on any topic. How one can work on this? Suppose the topic you're already familiarized with, like your daily routine, anything happened with you in your personal life, professional life, you can speak on that. But that also people can speak for a limited time period for 30 seconds, 40 seconds. They cannot extend for 3 to 4 minutes. So I tell you that includes specifications in your speaking. For example, anybody has to speak about a trip. So don't just say the outer things, say specific things you have done during that time period and elaborate the things in the real picture. Like a person can just imagine what you have done over there. Add stories to it. Once a person adds stories to what you are speaking, your topic will go long. Suppose the topic is technology. I know the technology in general. I've spoken about it for 30 seconds. Now, what more? Then I can tell like how it is useful to me, and I can add any story once I remember that technology really helped me and all the things related to that. In this way, the topic can go longer. Like add stories to it. I give you one more example. Suppose if I go for dinner, then in Hindi I have to say to somebody or to my friend, I went like I have gone for a very beautiful place for the dinner and I am describing everything कि पता है मैं ना इतनी अच्छी जगह डिनर पे गई थी, मजा ही आ गया, क्या खाना था और वहाँ का एम्बियंस वाज सो गुड और the serving was very nice and the food is so delicious. I'm telling all these things in Hindi so excitedly for 3 4 minutes without even realizing. But if it comes to English, what we people do, we just say, I went for dinner and it was amazing. No other sentence a person will say in English. So, similarly, the way you are describing in your mother language, describe the same things in English also. Because we make it a differentiation. In Hindi, you have this much of content, in English, you have this much of content. Why? Because in Hindi, you are describing the things in detail. But in English, you are telling in general. You are not describing in detail. So that's the reason you have only this much of content. So go for specific things that you have already experienced over there and add on stories to it. One more thing a person can do, like 5 W's and 1 H, like who, where, what, and when, which. So like suppose I went for a dinner and I have to speak on this topic. So where I went, when I went, how I went, with whom I went, what I did over there. So by adding these questions in my mind, I can get the answers and I can speak on that. So like 5 W's and 1 H is a good way to speak on any topic. Like you can just prepare in your mind and then you can start speaking on it. And any topic you do not know, add stories to it. I do like add stories. You know, we Indians are so good in making stories. Anything a person says, हम बोल देते हैं, अरे यार ये नहीं वो हुआ था. So many things we keep on saying. So similarly, you have to do the same in English. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. That's really a fantabulous trick that you have been telling us. And I got to know a very new information because I've been asking this question to many mentors, but this is the very first time I got a very unique answer. Thanks. And yeah, now next question for you is I hope you have come across to many people who have been using so many fillers while speaking English. Like I guess actually, is it okay for beginners or any English speaker to use filler while spoken English? If it is not, so what could be the best way to get rid of using fillers while speaking English?
Okay. See, I tell you something. Uh, People use fillers when they don't know what to say next. This is the reason of using the fillers. When they are not comfortable in their skin, then they use fillers. So what you have to do in such a way out, again, let me help you explain with the help of example. Like when we are in college, everybody, not only I'm talking about me, everybody whosoever is listening. When you are in college, what happens that you have to write one answer of 7 8 pages. But what we say, Rather, we could not memorize this much. We learn only 2 pages, but everyone is smart enough to elaborate those 2 pages into 6 pages at least. Yes, how? By writing, by leaving the space in between and writing, and by adding anything related to it and writing. So the same thing you have to do in your spoken English also. Suppose you have a content of 30 seconds, 1 minute. So go a bit slow, your pace of speaking, not the volume, to make your pace of speaking a bit slow, and rather than 30 seconds content, try to say it in 1 minute. For instance, anybody who speaks up, they say, ma'am, today I have a very busy schedule. After that, I have to do this. Then I have another meeting, and later I have to go to for shopping. I have to do some grocery shopping over there, like this. So now I spoke for just like 10, 12 seconds. Now I will say the same content for 30 seconds. Today I have a very busy schedule. After this, I have a meeting lined up. Then I have to go for shopping. There I will be doing some grocery shopping and a lot more other things I can see. And I wonder if I could watch a movie also there. I will see which movie is in the hall. So elaborating it, go very slow. Like earlier, my pace was very fast. So now what you have to do, you have to slow down your pace. Once you will slow down your pace, this will not help you in the content to make it longer. And once your content will be longer, the fillers will go away. Why we use fillers? Suppose you say for just 10, 12 seconds, then the things are over. You do not know what to speak more. Now you already know to what to speak for next 30 seconds by using your smart technique. So then you are thinking at that time. So you get some thinking time also in your mind. And in the meantime, you can think what to say next. Okay, so slow down the pace, and in slowing down, you are more effective. So when we slow down, we tend to be more effective. People can understand us very well. So this is the technique I would be suggesting. This will reduce fillers. And also one more thing a person can do, think before speaking up. Because when we think and we speak up, then our fillers are less. That is absolutely fine to think and speak rather than just keep on speaking. And you can even say to the person, just a moment, or allow me few seconds, or allow me a minute, or allow me a moment, and then you start speaking rather than just starting and making lot of errors. So it's absolutely fine to take some time to think and then speak up. There is nothing wrong in it.
Wow, that's really a very amazing and incredible answer. And yes, I do agree with you all the points, whatever you have spoken. And another question just pop up in my mind. I've seen many trainers, mentors, teachers keep giving this advice to beginners, school learners, and intermediate speakers that start thinking English. If you want to get an actual exposure of this language and you want to uh, imbibe this language as you are expecting from your side, all you have to do is just think in English. Now, do let me know how one can think in English, as we have been trained in order to think in our native language. And when it comes to this transformation, not even transformation, it's a very huge transformation that we have to inculcate in our body, in our mind and brain as well. So how one can do it?
Okay, see, generally what happens, even I suggest this, think in English. What happens, people have very short-term goals. The beginners, when they start, they are in full enthusiasm for a month. And after that, they just, rather than going on the second step, they come back on the first and then zero. Why? First, they do not know the right technique. They do not have any mentorship. I strongly suggest, if you are doing something in your life, take help, because taking help is, there is nothing wrong in taking. Even I do take help till date, not for English, like for so many things in my life. I keep on adding the videos also. Some people ask me, what kind of training do you take? So I keep on adding the training with my mentors. So it's not that I don't know those things. Everybody knows everything, but we need an accountability partner, or we need somebody for a push. So for beginners, I tell you, they should take help. And if they want to start it for themselves, they should keep in their mind that they have to keep it for 6 months. They should not stop in between. They have to keep on following it for at least 6 months. So once they will be consistent for 6 months, the things will start getting better. Because whatever is the age of the learner, from his childhood till now, he's thinking in which language? In his native language. So what you have to do it is, now you have to change into another language. So it is a time taking process. And yes, you said it right. If we do not know the sentence structure, how can I think in English? Start with basic, first with few words, like familiarize yourself with the words in your surrounding, then short sentences, and start to think on them. Like even if you're cooking the food, you think like what next I have to do. I have to put in some salt and add on some ginger, whatever. So start thinking like this, and wherever you get stuck, Google it. We live in the world of AI, you can Google everything. So Google it, like what is the English of it. Suppose I have to say अभी मेरा मन नहीं कर रहा ये करने का. So I will Google it. अभी मेरा मन नहीं कर रहा ये करने का in English. Yes, simple. Then you will find it. Or daily you will be doing it in your day, in your routine. So after a month you will see that 30% you already start thinking in English. But what people do, they keep on saying we are thinking in English. They just think for 1 or 2 days, not more than that. I'm telling you, through my experience, and I know how like it works with human nature. I won't say people does not have the desire. People, they do have the desire to learn, but it is human nature. When in the starting you're so enthusiastic, but slowly it start to go down. Why? Because human loves results. When we do not see the result after like 4 days, 5 days, we say it's not my cup of tea. मुझसे तो पता है मुझे इंग्लिश आ ही नहीं सकती. So you have to keep in your mind that it's a long term goal and you don't have to leave it in between. At least 6 months you have to think in English and make it as your habit. And once you're thinking in English, add on your emotions also to it. Like suppose when you are in Hindi, you are thinking, suppose I have to go to Bangalore next month. So in my mind, I'm thinking, यार कितना मजा आएगा मैं Bangalore जाऊंगी. So I'm thinking like this. But in Hindi, in English, I think I will go to Bangalore next month. Not like this. Even in my mind, it should, wow, it will be so fun if I will go to Bangalore next month. So I'm adding my emotion to my language. So add on emotions to your language. Then you will like English and you will learn easily. But what we do, we just learn it for like we are doing our exam, and it's a very tough thing. Once you will add emotions to the language, it's not difficult to learn. It's easy.
Yes, ma'am. Not 100. In fact, I would say 200% too. Whatever you have said, and I can resonate. But actually, I had this question in my mind. I thought, let me ask to you because every single trainer has his own point of view in order to give answer for different questions. So,
Yes.
because I've been talking to many trainers who are really proficient like you, and I'm getting different ideas from their side so that I can make an amalgamation of those ideas and I'll come up with something which could be productive for me as well as those who are co-learners with whom I'm talking for so far. So I do have more questions, but I know how precious your time for you, and I'm done for today. Thanks for giving your precious time and connecting with me. Hopefully, we'll meet again.
Okay, all right. Bye.
Yeah, bye, ma'am. Take care. Have a nice day ahead.
Thank you.